Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My dear friends, how are you all? Wishing and hoping for your health and happiness. Well, I am Tufail Haji once again with you in this series of lectures for this English program that we are doing with you, and very nice initiative by Sky Classes to make sure that students are not deprived of those 100 marks that they have an opportunity of gaining through the subject English. And what a beautiful opportunity for all those students who have not yet touched English to have those 100 marks with us at Sky Classes. And I hope that all of you will consider this opportunity as precious as gold dust, and you will do your best in making sure that you do all that is possible from your side with us to have the grip on those 100 marks that are to be attained when we face examinations in March. We are not much away from March. We are just a few months away, and this is a prized opportunity for all of us to revisit our English, and then the textbooks, the writing skills, the grammar, and all that is going to be asked, whether we talk of the actual paper that's going to be faced in the examination March, or is going to be the internal assessment. And today's lesson, dear friends, as you know, we have already done section A. That is, we read about the reading comprehension that contained 20 marks. We have done section 2, that is writing and grammar, that is containing 30 marks, makes it 50. And then humne section 3, that is based on literature, that's based on the textbooks, and that contains 30 more marks, making it 80. Now, out of 100 marks, we are left with 20, and now you must be wondering where are these 20 marks going to be attained from. And yes, we call that internal assessment, my dear friends, and this will be 20 marks. And when I say it's internal assessment, obviously I talk of the schools that you go to. I talk of the teachers who teach you at your respective schools. So what all will be assessed in this internal assessment? आखिर ये 20 मार्क्स जो है हासिल करने के लिए क्या करना होगा? कुछ लोग ज़रूर इस फ्रेम में होंगे कि करना तो कुछ नहीं है. It's obvious that the school people are always in favor of the students. They want the students to do very well in exams, and therefore they just support, as happens in practicals, and then make sure that the children have fullest support from the school. Yes, we can always have that, and that is a bonus with us. But then why not make it count properly? Why not do it? Why not keep yourself ready for this challenge also? Why to always rely on things which are not in your hands, which are in someone else's hands? Why not create a situation where you can make a difference yourself? Remember, charms strike the sight, merit wins the soul. Meritorious people are always up front. They don't rely on others for their success. They own their success, they own their struggle, and they own their hard work, and then they always believe that God Almighty will be merciful enough, and they will have a wonderful time ahead. They'll have obviously a landing in the success gardens. So in that context, ये 20 मार्क्स अगरचे हमें स्कूल में मिलेंगे भी, अगर हमें वादा भी किया जाता है कि 20 आपको दे ही देंगे, लेकिन एटलीस्ट वी कीप ourselves prepared for those 20 marks. What all is going to be asked, and what all may be asked? Why these 20 marks separate specification? क्यों इन 20 marks को separately specify किया गया है? In essence, these are important 20 marks. Or when we talk of language, we talk of skills. I've told you earlier also that it's all LSRW. So आपने देखा होगा, we call it the listening, the speaking, the reading, and the writing. It all starts with the listening skill, the speaking skill, the reading skill, and the writing skill. Dear friends, this is the whole of English. This is when we talk of language, it all boils down. ये language का पूरा जो ये एक स्ट्रक्चर है, ये अल्टीमेटली इन्हीं चार चीज़ों पे जो है निर्भर करता है, डिपेंड करता है. इट्स ऑल अबाउट स्किल्स. एंड जब आपने देखा होगा ज़रूर, आई एम वेरी श्योर दैट व्हेन द चाइल्ड starts its life, it doesn't speak first. Yes, it does speak, but then before speaking Baba or before speaking Mama, this child is being given some listening exercise. You know, if you see a mother or a dad of that child holding him in the lap or on the knees and then saying Baba, Baba, Mama, Mama, and then encourages the child to speak back. So अगर एसेंस में देखा जाए तो सबसे पहला काम जो है, ये बच्चा जो है, ये एस से नहीं करता शुरू, ये एल से शुरू करता है. Because the child listens to first, because no one has told the child that you have to say Baba or Mama, or you have to say apple, or you have to say ant, or you have to say orange later on, or you have to say umbrella, you have to say elephant. These are not things which basically come genetically with them. No, it's not with the children. You have to teach them, you have to make them listen to these things. A, B, C, D. This A, B, C, D is not basically written there. You have to give them the audio of it, and then you have to strengthen the understanding of that letter through a visual act where you show an apple to the child, and obviously the child relates that letter with that thing, and it becomes audio visual effect, and that ultimately helps in learning. But the fact of the matter is that it all depends on the listening part of it. So listening is very important. Now after listening, the child starts speaking, and then after speaking, then we come to the reading part, and then obviously the last thing that a child should be doing is writing. But then see what happens in our schools fantastically. Surprisingly, होता क्या है हमारे schools में और होना क्या चाहिए? The order is this: LSRW. So what ideally should happen? Ideally it should happen that you must be giving listening exercises to the children. But then I am yet to see the schools in Kashmir where we have listening exercises being given. We don't have English lab concepts here except for a few schools. But then you have to make them listen to good English. You have to make them listen to good speeches, and then obviously they start understanding it. In fact, some listening worksheets also be created in the schools where you have an audio being played for 5 minutes, and you make all the children listen. Tamam bachche sun rahe, and then you have a worksheet for the children wherein they have to answer some questions related to that audio. So that will test their listening skill. Remember, when you hear with care, that's called listening. It's not casual hearing, it is listening with attention. That is hearing with attention. That is what we say listening. There was a wise old owl. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Why can't we all be like that bird? This was somewhere written on a placard once. I was on a visit to Goa, and I read it, and I was impressed. God has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth, meaning thereby that He wants us to listen to more and speak less. But unfortunately, we do the opposite. We speak more and we listen to less. Remember, we must listen to respond, but it's unfortunate that we hear to react. So that also is something that we should be taking good care of. Anyways, the listening exercise has to be given, and out of the listening exercise will come the worksheet, and that worksheet will decide whether you have listened to it properly or not. So maybe the 5 marks that have been kept in the internal assessment for listening, जो 5 marks listening skill को check करने के लिए assess करने के लिए लिखे गए हैं, दिए गए हैं, वो listening exercise जो है वो किस हद तक आपके schools में adopt की जाएगी और उसके बाद आपको assess किया जाएगा, that is something we have fingers crossed about. We don't know what's going to happen. किस तरह से आपकी listening skill जो है वो एनालाइज की जाएगी. लेकिन मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा कि लिसनिंग एक्सरसाइज जो है इसके 3 फेजेस होते हैं. यू हैव प्री लिसनिंग फेज, you have pre-listening, you have while listening, pre-listening, while listening, and post-listening. Before a listening exercise, you have to first of all prepare the ground for that listening exercise. ऐसा नहीं कि आप आगे और start किया सुनाना. You have to prepare the ground, you have to prepare the environment for the children to listen to a particular topic or to listen to a particular story. And then there is a while listening phase where you are in the heart of listening. And then there is a post listening. After post listening, after the listening is done, then you have to get the responses from the students. Now the students are asked about that listening task and what all did they hear, what all did they infer, what all do they interpret. It's all about interpretation, inference. It's all about understanding of a particular task that can be reading, that can be writing, that can be listening. So that is one part of it. That is the listening exercise that children will be given or may be given when it comes to the examination and those 5 marks. Then we have the skill that will have 5 more marks. That is the speaking skill. And in terms of speaking, in terms of communication skills, you're all aware that it has to have very many things. No, आपके speaking skill को test करने के लिए there are very many things that the examiner might see in the school. You'll see the confidence, how much confident you are when it comes to your speaking skills. Do you express freely or do you have butterflies in your stomach? Do you have the fullest confidence and control over the words that you are speaking? Do you have the content that you are speaking? Another C, that will be the content of the speech. What is the content of the speech that you are delivering? What are the ideas that you are sharing? And what is the confidence with which you are speaking them? And similarly, he'll also see what sort of what's called charisma do you possess. Another C, that means do you have the attraction of a good speaker? Do you have the eye contact? Normally you'll see that speakers lack eye contact when it comes to public speaking. पता नहीं आप में से कितने लोग जो है जिनको मौका मिला है through literary clubs in the school or through different competitions to come on the days, to come on the stage and speak to big audience. I think here is where the speaking skill ultimately is honed and sharpened, but unfortunately our schools do not give us the right platform, and we are left wanting ultimately when it comes to speaking. We may have so many ideas, but when it comes to conversing, interviewing, dialoguing, conversing, declaiming, we are not unfortunately up to the task, because we are not given that platform. So the confidence, the content, the charisma that you need to have, similarly the creativity that you must have when it comes to speaking to public, and then you must know where to have a pitch, what sort of a pitch, what sort of a tone you need to have when you are speaking a statement. What should be your tone when you are having an imperative statement? What should be your tone when you are having an imperative mood? What should be your tone? Suppose if I am speaking an affirmative sentence, I have to have a nodding tone, like I want to speak a sentence, I go to school. I can see it like this: I go to school, I go to school, yes, I go to school. If I am going into negative frame, then I don't go to school, I don't go to school, I don't want to come in, I don't want to be here, he never comes on time, he does not listen to me. You can never say he does not listen to me. You always say he does not listen to me. No, obviously a negative tone. And then when it comes to interrogative questions, obviously you have two types of questions. You have the yes no type, you have the WH type. When you talk of yes no type, they begin with helping verbs. Is he there? Are you coming to school tomorrow? Will you go to school? Can you solve this problem? Do you like me? Does she take coffee? Have you prepared the food? And then when we go to the WH questions, obviously we have, why are you looking so happy today? What makes you uneasy? Where do you live? Who teaches you English? When can I meet you? So obviously the tone is what we call, इसको English में intonation बोलते हैं. Fall rise tone, पहले fall होता है फिर rise होता है. Do you go to school? The tone is rising. But then in case of statements, the tone falls down. We have a rise fall tone. I go to school, I go to school, but in English. But in questions, do I go to school? I go to school. Do I go to school? That's the tone is rising, the tone is falling. We call these tones, this is called intonation in English. That is also tested in what's called the speaking skill. The rise and fall of speech. Then it comes to one more important ingredient, that's pronunciation. So that's also very important. Most of the speakers are not impactful. क्यों नहीं वो impactful बन जाते हैं? Because they do not have a good grip on pronunciation. They speak the words wrongly. They say walked, which is walked. They say stapler, it is stapler. They say what's called chassis, it is chassis number. They say chassis number, it is chassis number. They say almond, it's almond. They say April, it is April. So there are different. They say recept, it is receipt. So they say resume, it is resume. They say chamber, it is chamber. They say cheer, it is chair. They say floor, it is flower. They say bonnet, it is bonnet. They say restaurant, it is restaurant. They say hotel, it is hotel. So all, they say dice, it is days. They say coupon, it is coupon. So all these things have an impact. When you see someone speaking with correct pronunciation, the impact is huge and humongous. When you see English very well spoken but not with correct pronunciation, it's very well in terms of vocabulary, it has a rich content, but it has not good pronunciation, then it does not carry that impact. It does not become that contagious as that English becomes, which is spoken with great pronunciation. It's a pronunciation is a polishing act. It makes you look beautiful when it comes to public speaking, and obviously those words seem very sweet to the eardrums when they are spoken with correct pronunciation, correct intonation, and then the correct way, the tone that needs to be adopted. Similarly, when you have when you want to speak an exclamatory sentence, you have to have an emotion. Alas, his father is dead. Alas, his father is dead. Ouch, I forgot it again. Yes, I've done it. Hurrah, we have won. You know, oops, I forgot my keys. I stepped on the plant. Oh, how awful. Ah, how beautiful mankind is. I'm reminded of Miranda of The Tempest. If you remember lesson 5, The Tempest, in grade 9, we had a lovely story. Miranda and Ferdinand playing chess in the cave, and then when all the party comes, the Prosperos, the Antonios, the King of Naples, and they see Miranda there. Miranda sees all the people together. She gets knocked for a 6. Oh my God, is this world so beautiful? Because she had not seen her except anyone except her father Prospero, the old man, and the Caliban, the fish-like Caliban. And then when she saw Ferdinand, obviously she said that he's a prince of the island. And then similarly, when she saw so many people together, what was the remark? The remark was, ah, how beautiful mankind is. So when the emotion is involved, at that time, dear friends, you have got a different tone altogether. It's all in speaking. So you cannot speak everything anytime. You have to weigh your words first. You have to see the situation, and you have to make sure that the way you speak it is digestible, it's palatable, it's appropriate, it's absolutely opposite. And the people who are listening to you, they are getting proper communication about what you wish to communicate to them. So that is the 5 marks that you'll be judged on when it comes to internal assessment. I don't know how they will assess you, but then you need to understand these intricacies. These are the things which fall within the domain, within the umbrella of the speaking skills, and similarly the listening skills. I've already talked about that. Then after that you have 2 more things. This is 5 marks for listening skills, you have 5 marks for speaking skills, and then you have the project work. So what happens in this, it contains 10 marks. So you'll be given a project. I think very many of you must have started doing projects when it comes to environmental science. You are given a topic for survey. Sometimes you have to prepare a questionnaire also. Sometimes you have to write the project, and then you have to have the format of the project also. You have to write the index, you have to write the resources that you use to make that project. You have to write all the references that you had while making that project. But then I suppose that you'll be given some topics which are the burning issues, like suppose on first tiger in grade 2, it has to do with the gender inequality. So therefore maybe you'll be given a project work on gender issues. Similarly in grade 11 we have, suppose we have the ailing planet, and that is from Hornbill textbook, and in that case the project can be like Anposh Telilvan Posh. We can save man only when we have the forests around, and when we have the nature in good shape. So in this context you'll be given a topic wherein you have to write maybe 1,000 to 2,000 words, and then obviously those words or that project, whatever you write, it has to have certain features. The first thing that is expected of a project is that it must have quality. That means whatever you are writing or whatever you are accumulating, जो भी आपने जमा किया है मवाद, it's a quality stuff. You are not bringing things into the project which are outdated, obsolete, पुराने दकियानुसी ख्यालात की चीज़ें जो आपको, it has to retain the quality, it has to be updated. And in terms of quality, when I say quality, it has to be having quality of writing, quality of the paper, the quality of making it, shaping it and preparing it, designing it, the diagrams that you choose, the survey that you choose, the statistical details that you collect, they all have to be having a qualitative origin. Similarly, it has to have clarity also. No, you cannot just assume and presume. Obviously, things have to be very clear. You have to be basing your things on facts and figures. जो चीज़ें हैं practically वही लानी है, और जो चीज़ें आप प्रोजेक्ट में लाएंगे या उस डिटेल में लाएंगे, they have to be verifiable. Verifiable means if someone wants to authenticate them, if someone wants to verify them, he should be able to do that. So it should have quality, it should have clarity, it should have proper contents. That means आपका जो content होना चाहिए project का, that should be very strong, and for accumulation of that content you have to have original sources. You cannot just rely on one thing. आपने बस एक चीज़ देख के project बना लिया. No, you have to have a diversity of things. You have to go to different resources, you have to go to different books, you have to take different opinions, take different viewpoints, go through different thesis, and then you'll be understanding that what sort of content are you making for that project. Therefore, it's not that easy peasy, because it has a timeline. That's my next point. So you have to have a timeline under which you have to, within which you have to make sure that you submit your project, and this will depend on your work ethics. How well do you take this project? How research oriented your project is? If it's in letter and spirit, if they mean this work that way, in fact it has been designed that way only. But then I don't know, शायद schools में इस pattern पे आपसे projects लिए जाएंगे नहीं लिए जाएंगे, that's a different aspect altogether. लेकिन I would advise you to work on the quality, clarity, facts and figures, contents. Whatever you write, obviously it has to have very good vocabulary and grammar. So that is already been told to you. Vocabulary and grammar, whatever you write, it has to be correct, properly proofread, and you have to make sure that you have not written any detail that is somewhat wrong in terms of grammar, vocabulary, contents, and you should not copy paste your projects. Normally what happens here in terms of dissertations, thesis also, there's a copy paste stuff. So that should not be. It has to be original as much as possible. अगर आप कहीं पे रेफरेंस ले रहे हैं तो ऑब्वियसली आपको ब्रैकेट्स में लिखना पड़ेगा, रेफरेंस दिस बुक by this author and dated this, page number this. So everything has to be written properly. Whatever is your own is your own. Whatever you are borrowing, you are borrowing. तभी हम बोलते हैं अंग्रेजी में borrowed clothes don't fit in. जो आप पराए कपड़े लाते हैं वो आप पे फिट नहीं करते. वो अच्छे हो सकते हैं लेकिन आपके नहीं है. Therefore, when you write yours, it carries a different impact altogether, and that is why project writing is not everyone's cup of tea. I would appreciate that you undergo certain work in terms of projects, and then you see some projects also, and the well-made projects will be available on the net also, how it's designed, how it's made, and then get the proper assistance from right people in terms of project making, and make sure that whatever you do in the project is something meaningful, and it accomplishes the objective with which the project has been made. ऐसा नहीं है कि just आपने बस pages भर लिए तो बस काम हो गया, marks आ गए. No, what ultimately is the result of this effort? आपने जो project बनाया, what are the takeaways from this? What are the positives from this? What guideline, what pathway are you setting after creating this project? What new? Because ultimately it all depends on research. Remember, education is not the pail to be filled. It's a fire to be lit. All men of genius just take a different path, and then they reach different destinations. If you remember The Road Not Taken, class 9th, we had a poem, beautiful poem 4 by Robert Frost. Everyone took the road that had been trodden by people, and Tom, Dick, and Harry had done it. But then I took the road that was not trodden, that was not trampled on, that was not used earlier. And then I went on, and then I knew that one fine day I'll come and I'll tell myself that I went on a road which no one had dared to take, and then that ultimately made all the difference. And therefore you also need to start feeling that you have to make a difference, and in whatever you do, the quality has to be maintained, the clarity has to be maintained, the originality has to be maintained, and the facts and figures, the data that you are collecting, accumulating, incorporating, it has to be absolutely foolproof. You have to make sure that your effort is fruitful, and whoever sees that project is taking something positive out of it, and it's helping him to intrude into certain, in fact explore certain areas which have never been explored earlier. So that is how these 10 marks can be taken. So in this lesson, my dear friends, these 20 marks were the target for us today, and I do feel that these 20 marks can be yours if you enter into the listening skills. Please do listen to certain audios, and then ask yourselves questions, or maybe there will be so many listening tasks also available on the net. You can listen for a while, and then you can try to answer the questions. You will just self evaluate कि आपने कितने क्वेश्चंस ठीक किए. जितने क्वेश्चंस आप ठीक करेंगे, इसका मतलब हो गया कि आपकी लिसनिंग स्ट्रेंथ जो है वो बढ़ रही है. एंड हैबिट ऑफ लिसनिंग इज अ great habit. You should listen more, and listening gives you maturity of thinking, and then your responses also are quite professional, quite mature, and they are not amateurish. Similarly, in the speaking skills, I think it's not something that will be covered in one topic or one lecture. Speaking is a skill, and then in order to sharpen, in order to make the skill bright and beautiful, you need a lot of tasks, and you need an environment also. But then it's not too late for you. Remember, it's never too late. Abhi zyada dur bhi nahi aap. You are on track, and I think if you have got good schools around, and you have got good company, you have got good friends, I think you can still make it. It's not, speaking is a process. It doesn't happen in overnight, in a day or a two. Myself, I've been all engaged in English teaching, learning, and didn't have a good environment myself to speak well. But then remember, determination is the key. When you are determined to do it, you do it. The success comes in cans, not can'ts. You can always do things. Impossible is a word that I keep telling is found in the dictionary of fools all. In fact, impossible itself says I am possible. So it's not impossible for you to speak well, to speak confidently, to speak fluently, to speak eloquently. You can do it, and for that you need to take care of the things that I've told you, those areas. In fact, if you can find a very good expert now who is teaching maybe online or offline, wherever you get an opportunity, you should enter into a speaking environment, because that's going to help you lots in your professional careers. Also, tomorrow you'll be doctors, great professionals, but then at the same time, speaking is an ornament that you need to carry with all the time, because on obviously stages you need to be called and you need to speak, and there it's only going to be impactful when you can communicate your ideas well with proper, beautiful, and impactful expression. So the listening part 5, the speaking part 5, and then in the internal assessment, I think it is the school's doing, but then I thought that this lesson would at least give an idea about what sort of things can be asked when it comes to project making, and once the project is made, what all have I to take care of when I design a project, when I compile a project, and what sort of elements or ingredients are required to make a project work successful. So that is, my dear friends, the slides that we have done so far, the four things, the four lectures. The first one went with the reading skill, the second one went with the writing and grammar, the third one went with the textbooks, the literature, and the last one is this slide, the internal assessment lecture that we had today. What all important things have to be kept in mind when it comes to getting those 20 marks. In fact, they are in the hands of our school people, and we need not worry too much about these 20, but then I still felt that you can be mentally prepared for these 20 marks. This is something which will help you have those 20 marks with pride, with confidence, with ease, and that's why I went for this lecture on internal assessment. Hope it has been completely enjoyable so far with you. Please do write to me on my WhatsApp for any questions, clarifications. 94193509949. I repeat, 94193509949. That is my WhatsApp, wherein you can drop your doubts, drop your queries, if any. I'll inshallah make sure that there is no scope for any doubt, but then still we can have certain clarifications, and I'll always do my best to help you out with the clarification of those doubts. But then confidence speaks, positivity is very important. Optimism is the key. An optimist sees the rose, a pessimist sees the thorn. An optimist sees light in darkness, a pessimist sees darkness in light. I want you all to be optimists, and inshallah now the ground is prepared. As we step into lecture 5, we'll straight away move into the lessons, the text, the poetry, and the internal things that we discussed in each section. This will be taken up, and inshallah remember, 50 at the rate of 100, that is the key. 50 lectures will take us to that dream destination of 100 marks. I hope till now it has been an enthralling and enchanting journey. Going forward, it will be more than that. Inshallah, I promise you. Take good care of yourself. Stay there for yourself, your parents, your dreams. Wishing you health and happiness. Till the next time, it's a goodbye. Have a good time ahead. Allah Hafiz.